Wagwan nurturers, it's Natalie here. I'm here with the weekly open reading for Naturally Nurture by Natalie. So we'll start off with the reading in the same layout as last week, basically where we are now, where you want to be and what you need to do to get there, and the overall energy of the week. So we start off with the overall energy for the week, which is the Hangman in reverse. Basically, even the same as when it comes up in reverse, the Hangman usually talks about being kind of a little bit at a crossroads, a little bit kind of, do I go left, right, up, down, min or no? It's not really a time to control outcomes or situations. It's a time to just kind of push, pause, ride it out, weigh up what's going on, and figure out which way to go, if that makes sense. Yeah. Just take time, use it similar to a retrograde, I guess, in a way. It's just have a look at what's going on to kind of guide you to where your next movement's gonna be. Sometimes it's best to do nothing and be still in order to move forward, them ones. It's possible that the time's come to let go of something that no longer serves. And again, Nanny always used to say, sometimes you have to whop your hand, put on something so your hand free to take up something else. You get me? So basically, or translation for those that don't speak the Jamaican patois, sometimes you have to free your hand and put down something in order that your hands are free to take up what's really for you, if that makes sense. Making sensible sacrifices. It's it will, if you sacrifice the things that no longer work, it will just make room in your life for the things that's going to benefit you more. You get me? In terms of work and that, and when this card turns up, if things ain't going well, it's try not to blame everybody else. More looking at yourself and see what you can do, how you can fix things. That's about that push, pause, that introspective. In terms of love, this is also about letting go. Sometimes you can be in a relationship and it's just dead out and stale, and so you just go, well, you know what, instead of us harming each other and what have you, it might be the case to just call it a day. I'm just moving this lighter because I don't like the heat. I don't like the lighter being next to the candle, and that never a good idea. Allow me. And let me see if anything for single people. No, don't say nothing. So if you're single and that, maybe just look and see, well, are you happy being single? Are you not? If you're not, why not? If you are, well then, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, any. And when the Hangman's reversed in terms of money, you might not be sure what to do. But one of the most important things is to realise that you're not alone. And don't try and be yeah, Superman, Superwoman, I could do it myself. All of this business. At the end of the day, no man's an island. Closed mouth don't get fed. If you need help, ask for it, or you ain't got no one to blame but yourself if you're not coming up with the help that you need. In terms of health and that, when the Hangman's in the reverse, you might not be feeling, 100%, and it's important to just consider changes in habits. If you're feeling a bit tired and sluggish, it might be you need to go on a little juice detox and whatever. Make sure you drink your water. Like I said, I think I said it last week. Drink water and mind your business. All right. And then in terms of spirituality, old messages that we received as children can be coming back to haunt us. I think just the fact that this is a 1 year, there's certain cycles that are coming up, and I see a 10 in the cards. Let me move that just a little bit there. That's better. I see a 10 in the cards, and 10's usually end of cycle. So the Hangman coming up as the overall energy could be indicative of old cycles, old habits, old messages coming up to be maybe observed. How are they benefiting you? Maybe they've got you this far, but now it's time to let go of that, so we'll see as we get into the reading. So let's go to first card. Where am I at now? Which is the 7 of Wands. Wands being It's a lovely lady. I think Lauren Hewitt on my Facebook page. She dropped a status where she said what was it? She said that the wands and the swords are male cards. Well, she said the willies, and then the coins and the cups cards are female cards or nunnies. So, which are just like, just on a really base level, like it really helped to kind of understand it. Yeah, interesting. Like ones, so you could say that the ones would be the physical aspect of masculine, and then the swords would be like the mental aspect of masculine, and then the coins would be the physical aspect of feminine, and the cups would be the mental or emotional aspect of feminine. It was just like, it was a really good observation, and I did say I'd shout her right still. Also, yeah, quick shout out to Charlie as well. Like she gave me some feedback about the readings and the fact that it just felt like I was talking to you directly, which I hope that's the case for anybody that's listening, because it is really a conversation, and I hope that you do feel welcome and all of that. I told you well-being without the woo-woo. All right, let me shut up and carry on. 7 of Wands. Seven's like a well, I like, they say lucky 7 in it, so we'll just start with there. Like saying that basically in any kind of sort of competitive situation that you're about to come out upon top, when we say lucky 7 though, things should be going well. You should be feeling good, and things should be moving. Like sometimes even when things are going good, you know, the old messages, which we'll get to in a minute, you know, they might be coming up, but feel the fear and do it anyway. Bore true, man, bore true. Don't hesitate to like make things clear to people as well. Like just be very transparent, you know. And this card can also say that change is coming, like positive change in your personal or business life. And it also points towards being independent and thinking for yourself. So like in terms of business and what have you, it's like kind of like swinging a stick, like yo, taking a, you know, being competitive, not necessarily in a bad-minded way, but you're going to step forward, compete, and come out like, you know, little mini victories, you know what I mean, regardless of your sort of little fears and insecurities. With work, it says that if you ever wanted to be self-employed, now is the time to give this a great deal of thought and do your homework. Always do your homework, innit? And in terms of saying about being independent, like working for yourself is like one of the biggest forms of independence. Tough like crackers, but worth it in a lot of ways as well. You have to be willing to put in the time and effort, like, to make it happen. Be logical though. Saying don't give up sure for unsure, innit? If you're working and you want to set up your own business or what have you, you know, make the transition gently. Don't just throw out the baby with the bathwater. You can actually, you know, on your downtime, weekends, start putting together your business plan, start setting up, start, you know, putting the wheels in motion. So that's sort of the good. In terms of love, if you're already committed, speak your mind to your partner and, you know, be clear. Don't be wicked and blunt and, does my bum look big in this? Yes, your bottom big like total eclipse. No. But it could be like, well, you know what? I love your bum and it is more for me to, you get what I'm saying? Just be honest in it, but be, at the end of the day, talk to somebody how you'd like them to talk to you, and it simple things. And if you're single, it could say that you're about to meet someone new, but from like not normally where you'd normally meet people or where you'd normally be at. So try something new. Is it? Let me know if anybody meets anybody. Drop comments and that, yeah. And in finances, expect to increase. Thank God for that. You might end up with a bonus that you weren't suspecting, or something you own is like, you know, you find out it's like worth more than what you thought it was. Money's on the upswing, but be sensible and invest it, man. Think long term, innit? You might be worrying unnecessarily when it comes to health and that, but just keep a positive attitude and that. And if you suspect that something's wrong, like make sure, innit? Like don't just say it, like, because doctors nowadays is just like, oh yeah, nothing, you're all right, take these. But if you feel like, yo, something ain't right, you know, be clear, be, you know, outline your, get a second opinion, and then by facing your fears and that, you'll be even stronger, you know. On to the next one, on to the next one. So just have courage and that. See, that's what it's saying where you're at now. which is a really good place to be at. But with the Hangman in the reverse coming in saying, right, okay, so it's like, it might be where, boom, you decided you want to start up your own business, but you're at work, so you're like, well, how do I cover the bills and that while I do this Hangman? Da 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 da. So it's all about weighing up the options, being in a good place, but weighing up what's really cracking, which brings to where you want to be at, which is the Devil in reverse. That's a weird card to be like where you want to be. I might say you ask. I looked at it and I thought, well, what does that mean? So let's look at what the Devil in reverse kind of talks to. It's not really a frightening card, like when it's in the reverse. It reminds us that any situation, like basically that might seem to be, that might be like really scary or might be holding you, ain't really got that hold. It's like, it's what's in the mind, it's an illusion. You get what I'm saying? So that ties in with, so like where you want to be is understanding that you're not stuck anywhere. You're not actually stuck. You're actually in a pretty decent place. And you want to get to that knowledge and understanding of that. It's basically in the reverse. It's a hint to look deeper at a situation and not necessarily take things on face value. You get what I'm saying? Things aren't always as bad as they seem. And when the devil's in reverse, it's like, stay clear that basically things can just turn around like that. You get what I'm saying? It can be up, it can be down. I believe the devil also speaks to addictions and things like that as well. So in the reverse, I'd say, again, it's that thing of, oh, well, I feel like I'm addicted to this or that, but actually it don't control you as much as what you think it does. It might feel like you haven't got as much control as what you actually have at the moment as well. Just basically take action. Be calm, get centered, get steady, ask for help, remember to ask for help, be steady, observe, be still, have a look, and just keep it pushing that way. In terms of work, wait, let me lost myself, come back again. Okay, with work, it's important to realize that this card, basically nothing's permanent and secure in this day and age. That's just the way it is. No such thing as forever. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It might be just possible that, the job that you thought was really secure, it might be time to, think, okay, the job that you really thought was secure, might be time to have a look at how you can move on. Take a pause, keep still, have a look and see how that can be done. You see what I'm saying? So the devil in reverse is coming up and saying it's understanding that, your beliefs that you had, it's time to start working through them and understanding that basically whatever your mind is focusing on, that's what's going to manifest basically. Let's see, if you're unhappy in a job, like it might be the best thing to, you might be unhappy in the job and it might be where you're thinking, oh, well, it's because of the security. That might be more detrimental to you than saying, you know what, actually I believe in myself enough to know that I can seek out other ventures and I might need to take a pause and take a stop, take a check to be able to move out of it. That's what the devil in reverse, it really helps you to reevaluate and understand. It's all in the mental basically. You're not trapped unless you allow yourself to be trapped. You get me? There's always options. In love, it can be like an indication that trouble could be brewing if you're in a long-term thing. You might be feeling like you're trapped in the relationship or what have you, and the time might be coming where you might need to have a talk. It might be taking a break, it might be what have you. In the reverse, it's not as harsh as if it was upright. In the upright, it would more than likely mean that, boy, it might be time to call it a day or what have you, and send each other on with love. But in this one, when it's in the reverse, it might be just where you want to, take your time, start dating each other again. Like I think that's so important in a relationship, to actually, keep that essence there and see if it's worth saving. You get me? And if you are single at the moment, make peace with your situation, understand who you are, and understand that, boy, don't don't be coming across as desperate, and like, because like that's gonna be off-putting, and it, like, even if you are looking for love, like, desperation's not attractive, is it really? And plus it opens you up for people to come and take the piss and what have you, and opportunists and what have you to come and feed and so it's mental. Like, what do you believe about yourself? What do you think about yourself? So that's where you want to be, is sort of in control of that. So the devil in reverse, even though, people think the devil, woo, it's not that scary. It's like, it's the other side of the coin, isn't it? All right, boom. So that's where you want to be, understanding that it's mental, and, it's only, basically life can change on a thought. It's going to be literally just as simple as changing your thinking about something can change your circumstances. Which brings us to, what do I need to change in order to bring about this understanding, which is the Ten of Swords. And Ten of Swords does tend to kind of come, be like a kind of a dun 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 card in readings. But at the same time, 10 speaks about cycles ending. Because basically, once you get to 10, you're back at 1 kind of thing. It's like cycles of completion, and but it's not like bad. But it's about, basically, be careful about where you put your trust and things like that. Be mindful. And when it comes up in relation to a question, like, can you believe like, it talks about, trust is quite a big thing. If somebody comes along and it sounds a bit too good to be true, it's like, really be watchful, be mindful, because obviously when cycles come to completion, there's often lots more obstacles and little ningy nitpicky things that will get in the way, sort of testing you to see if you're ready to move on to the next cycle. You get what I'm saying? So make people's actions show you more than their words. Yeah. And bear in mind that when one door shut, a next one opens. So anybody that you sort of lose in this time, it's meant to go, or anything that you lose in this time will actually, again, what was it saying about opening your hand, freeing up your hand to pick up what's next? So you see how that's tying in from the Hangman in reverse. It's like one door shuts, another one opens. Let go what you maybe never wanted to in order to gain something more. So it is, the card might signal that your work situation might be coming to an end. So line up your ducks in a row and, think through what you need to do in case you do need to lose your job. In case you do lose your job, like, how will it work? Have you got any money put away? What's your bottom line? That was tying in from last week. What's your bottom line? What do you need? It's basically about kind of securing yourself, keeping still, securing yourself, seeing that, okay, you are in a job now, you maybe wanted to make the transition. What would you need, or, what would you need to make you secure while you're doing that, to kind of reaffirm to you that all is mental. So that's all right. Don't be, thinking about revenge or nothing. If it does get a bit peak at work, just know that something better's round the corner. And so, again, one door shut and next one open, and it's usually to better, something better. Similar with in love as well. It's not necessarily the best omen in the world. If something's not right, can you accept reality? Don't shut your eye upon the truth. You can't force someone to love you or behave respectfully. Someone's taking the piss. It might be just time to say, you know what? Thank you for the time that we spent, but here what? Bon you, yeah? You get what I'm saying? It's all mental. So in order, that's where you're at now. Take a pause, ask the questions. This is what you need to do in order to get to here. Like, okay, it's all mental. I don't necessarily need to be trapped in this situation. I can free myself from this situation. This situation ain't the be all and end all, because it's coming to a close, because me run things no run me. You get me? Okay, then. And in terms of money, might be a bit disappointing. It's not a time to gamble. What tech stock a war go on? Why is it that things are going like not well? If somebody hasn't come through, don't beat up yourself. It's not the end of the world. It's like, think logically, pause, look what's really going on. Okay, did you trust that person because you actually just wanted to rely on someone else to rely on and not take the responsibility for yourself? How can you empower yourself? Like, Hangman is coming to say in reverse, is saying, yo, boom, pause a second. Yo, what's really good, whether it's emotionally, financially, or what have you. In terms of health, it might not be good as you hoped. But be careful of which healer you put your trust and your faith in. Call on your healing energies, call on the angels, burn your sage, light your incense, say your prayers if that's your thing. Like, it doesn't have to be one way, like, oh, well, the doctor said this or that. If the doctor said that you're stressed and that, there's nothing wrong with running a nice hot warm bath or what have you, light 2 candle, burn an incense, say your prayers. As for some people believe in Archangel Raphael, who I believe is Tahuti and Kemetic thinking, like, whoever you talk to and it talk to them, could be the ancestors. You might have had a grandparent or something that was good at, like, you know, nurturing and what have you. Boom, 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 boom. Do what works. Yeah, you know, it's all mental. You're more empowered than you think. And in terms of spirituality, again, it's saying that you might have, you know, had certain messages from the childhood, even like long held beliefs, whether positive or negative. Well, obviously if they're positive, hold them, but if they're negative, like, it might be something to do with poverty consciousness. Stop and take a check, because actually it's affecting your finances right now. Boom, the Hangman is saying, yo, pause, like, really have a look and see. Right now, actually, things ain't going that good, but because of the messages that you might have received as a child, you know, something's going to go wrong when things are going well. It causes that to happen. So in order to kind of get to here, it's like understanding that all is mental. You know, like, just even realizing that there's a pattern, realizing that there's an energy from childhood that you've taken on board. You get what I'm saying? So even though it seems like a very cautionary week, but it's all about taking a stock, pausing, evaluating, observing where you are now, which is quite a strong place. But at the same time, it's like the earthly plane. Where you want to be is where you kind of master yourself, the devil in reverse. And what you need to improve on is just understanding that, you know what, things come to an end, and it's not necessarily a bad thing if they do. And look what you want to end and what you want to begin afresh. What doors do you want to open? What doors do you want to close? And that's really your reading for this week, nurturers. Take care, like, share, subscribe. Peace.